Okay, I want to do a few quick screen tutorials on Google Tour Creator. A lot of this is self-explanatory, but I figure it couldn't hurt to have a few examples for us to look at together for how some of this stuff is done. So I normally get there by just doing a Google search for Google Tour Creator. It's the first thing that comes up. And then from here, we're going to click Get Started. And I sign in with my regular Gmail account. Okay, so if you're using Google Apps for Education, I don't think at this point that will work. You can try. You're welcome to try. I feel like I have better luck with my regular Gmail account. So get here. It's all gonna start with a new tour. So click New Tour. I need to give the tour a name. It's my demo tour. And select a cover photo. Now, this seems to work best by choosing a regular photograph, not necessarily a 360 photograph. So just a regular photo, I think works best here. So there we go. I've got a regular photo that's going to be my cover photo for the tour. And then here, I'm just going to type in some text to help people understand what this tour is all about. Okay, and then give it a give it a category. And click Create. Okay, so from here, it's pretty simple. What we are going to do most of the time is go here to Upload and select our 360 images. If you have your 360 camera plugged in, it will show up over here on the left as like a device. Okay, I'm on a Mac. It looks about the same on a PC, but it'll show up with your camera over here, and you can just literally select the images right off the camera. I actually have some images saved in a folder on my computer. Either way that you do this is completely fine. I do apologize that I don't have any 360 images from our tour, from a tour like handy with me right now. So these are just stock 360 images. But the point is exactly the same. I'm going to just select the one that I want, choose that photograph, and then say here to add that scene. Okay, it's going to add the scene. I need to give it a name. So this is my German city. Okay, it's location, and some descriptive text about this. I don't happen to know much about this, but you would just put in, whatever text that you need to describe that particular scene, and then give the photo credit. So if this was created by a student, you might put John, Mr. Ratliff's third grade student. Okay, so we're going to try to avoid like a student's first name, last name, because they are going to be shared. But something like that would be appropriate. Or, if it was just something like this, Mr. Ratliff's third grade class, would be fine. If they were the one that took the photo, or if you took the photo personally, you could do that. Okay, so moving on, there's a couple of buttons that I want to explain. One would be insert a ambient audio. So with this one being kind of a city scene, I might go out to the internet and find a clip of sound effects from a city, okay, or sound effects from a street kind of hustle and bustle. Those are available online. I will do a separate tutorial on that part. Okay, so you don't have to overthink that right now. I'm going to show you that later. And then add narration to the scene. Both of these are going to trigger you to upload an MP3 file. Okay, so we're not going to record audio directly into the audio interface right now. I'm just going to have separate audio that I bring in to embed there. and like I said, we will do both of those actually in another tutorial. Moving on right now, I want to show you a point of interest. So a point of interest puts what we have been calling like a hotspot on the photograph. Okay, so like this is a point of interest, this little fountain right here. So I'm going to click that point of interest, drag it onto the spot that I want to highlight, and then I'm going to do something similar to like what I did for the photograph, only now I'm talking specifically about this point of interest. So this would be some text, you know, explaining this point, okay, and excuse me, this would be the name, point of interest title. So we might call this the title of that point. You know, in this case it might be a fountain, you know, and then here would be some more text explaining why this thing is significant. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I can also, to this point of interest, overlay an image. So if I've got a blown up, like let's say for example I've put a hotspot on a tulip poplar tree, and then I want to overlay an image of a close-up image of a tulip poplar leaf. Okay, that might be something that I want to do there. Or I may want to add narration. I can do that again by selecting an audio file that's on my computer. Okay, and then I would repeat that process for another point of interest. Okay, so let's say we want to put a point of interest right here. This is going to be the market, and then here explaining some text excuse me, about the market, and another photograph if I choose to do that, if it needs that, another audio narration. So think about reluctant readers. A student might choose to have audio explaining that point of interest, and again another point of interest, and then I'm simply just going to repeat that same process to add a new scene. It's going to start that cycle all over again. Okay, go out, grab a 360 picture, choose that photo, give it a second to upload, add scene, and I'm going to go right back through that same process again. 5 scenes make up one tour, minimum 5. If you choose to do 6 or 7 or 8 or however many it takes to tell your story, that's perfectly fine, but each tour would have a minimum of 5. So in the next tutorial, we will go into a deeper dive on adding ambient audio and narration.